I ended up getting disfellowshipped.
Sonia Erickson has been disfellowshipped.
They loved me and wanted me to come back to Jehovah. I tried to contact them. I just wanted to talk and to hear their voice. I missed being with my family. And they thought about reaching out to me. But they knew that if they had associated with me, even a little, just to check on me, that small dose of association might have satisfied me.
Hey guys, welcome to the JW Untold channel. So why is the governing body removing content from the JW org about the shunning policy, the shunning doctrine? Why are they changing now the doctrine of shunning in a small way? Well, you won't see this video on the JW org website anymore. It has disappeared for no reason. There has been no reason why the governing body has changed their mind about this video. So they're getting rid of all the evidence that the Jehovah's Witnesses and the governing body actually teaches their followers to shun their friends, to shun their family, all the way to the point of no return. Let's have a look at this video that has been deleted from the JW org. You will not see that anymore anywhere in the JW org, but they still implement this doctrine.
I ended up getting disfellowshipped.
Sonia Erickson has been disfellowshipped.
It crushed my whole family.
Okay, to continue the meeting, we may remember last month's service.
Later, my father explained to me that I couldn't remain in the home because I refused to change my lifestyle. They loved me and wanted me to come back to Jehovah. I tried to contact them. I just wanted to talk and to hear their voice. I missed being with my family. And they thought about reaching out to me. But they knew that if they had associated with me, even a little, just to check on me, that small dose of association might have satisfied me. It could have made me think that there was no need to return to Jehovah.
And by the way, in case you don't know the Jehovah's Witnesses lingo, when they say return to Jehovah, it means return the organization. You might still believe in Jehovah God, but if you are not within the organization, you are not with Jehovah God. So that's the link of the Jehovah's Witnesses. So here is the reason why the Jehovah's Witnesses, the governing body, are changing the policies to the public. Internally, they still do the same thing, but publicly, they are changing the point of view. They wanna show themselves to be more heartwarming, that they don't disfellowship their followers. They actually change the word disfellowship to be removed. That is how they call them now. No disfellowship, but they have been removed. So we've got an article here from Sweden. Jehovah's Witnesses may lose governmental funding after a law changing requiring religious groups not to exclude members. And the 3 points here, it says here, the community of Jehovah's Witnesses can become without a governmental grant now that the state aid to the faith communities has been redesigned. So they're changing the laws to make it clear to all cults, all sects, all religions that if you're going to exclude your members and the country's citizens, you are going to lose the government's grants. The new law requires, among other things, that communities must not exclude anyone because of the choice of life partners, as Jehovah's Witnesses do. Freelance journalist Jonah Buren has met previous witnesses Tilia, who thinks it's not obvious that the organization should receive government support. So let's listen to this recording that I have here from this website in Swedish. I have translated into English, so excuse the translation, might be a bit off. Let's have a look what they are talking about in Sweden regarding the Jehovah's Witnesses policy of shunning. Let's have a listen to this amazing quick audio.
The Jehovah's Witnesses Society may become without government grants now that the law to religious communities has been recast. The new law requires, among other things, that communities may not exclude anyone, which Jehovah's Witnesses do. Claire for 25 years and former witness, and she thinks that the organization should obviously not receive government's grants. It is only a few months since she left. Should obviously not receive government's grants. It is only a few months since she left.
It's sad, my niece is probably my biggest loss. She was my favorite person. I showed her tricks with my glasses all the time. Every hour my niece will come and ask me to keep showing her my trick. I can't stop crying, of course. Every time, when I feel sad, she will come and comfort me.
Jehovah's Witnesses are Christian faith, which has found approximately 22,000 members in Sweden and is known for its missionary and doomsday prophecy. They call themselves Bible-believing. Jehovah is God and Satan is most present. An important part of the belief is that a small group of people will come to paradise after the apocalypse Armageddon, and if you do not follow the rules, you will be excluded.
There is no autonomy. Not developing any identity within this organization is a perfect basis for mental illness and various forms of abuse. Just when you live in such a way that you relate to a higher power, there is no space to learn that I have the right to decide for myself. But when I do not make my image as of Jehovah God, I will not get to go to paradise and I will die.
Apparently, they know what will happen now that they announce that she has left. She becomes a so-called apostate, just as her older sister became when she left. Then Tilia was 11 years old.
I've felt what it's like to ignore someone you love. This is a huge internal conflict. You don't talk to them anymore, they don't go with them anymore. Most people look down at the ground when you see one of them with them anymore.
She lists several arguments why the state should not give contributions to the organization. The Jehovah's Witnesses believes that women are not worth as much as men, that children do not have the opportunity to think and choose for themselves, and that one is not even taught or feeling one should not participate in politics.
The way they look at authorities is very much that it is part of Satan's system.
Jehovah's Witnesses answer questions in writing. They write that men and women are equal before God, but that men are elders based on Bible-based beliefs, who are the ones who govern the churches, but that women can have other positions. Jehovah's Witnesses wish the best for their children. They teach their children what they think will be for their good. They write that they do not comment on personal experiences but do not wish for painful experiences. They confirm that they think you should stop hanging out with excluded people, and also write that they are politically neutral but respect each individual's right to decide for themselves and not exert pressure or threats to discourage anyone from voting. The authorities head for support to religious communities, which will now decide if the Jehovah's Witnesses deserves to receive government grants. The
government was clear that they did not think that Jehovah's Witnesses would get the government when they changed the regulations. Perhaps not a certain part that they thought that the regulations did not work. These criteria have become much more concrete. For example, they write that religious communities must not have the right to support honor-related choices they need to follow. Convention on the Rights, they may not exclude members because of their choice of life.
In the application from the Jehovah's Witnesses, they replied that they exclude members because of their choice of life. And now the question is whether Jehovah's Witnesses will receive a grant.
We will go a little deeper into the problem, so to speak. But the bill is very clear: more religious communities that exclude members because of the choice of life should not receive government grants, so that's why we follow the opposition.
In Sweden, but also part of the human rights of the European Convention on Human Rights, where it is not entirely certain that all the conditions in the Swedish law on support for religious communities are approved.
Jehovah's Witnesses used to appeal these domains with reference to religious freedom and human rights. Most of the times the Jehovah's Witnesses will go all the way up to the European Court of Human Rights.
If the authority rejects religious communities in Sweden and now denies government grants to Jehovah's Witnesses, they could be tried in the European Court of Human Rights for discrimination against the Jehovah's Witnesses.
The legislators in Sweden have nevertheless made an assessment that, as the law now is in line with religious freedom and human rights, so that we comply with the Swedish law. But of course, it is not always straightforward.
Religious freedom is great. If it is to stand for such an opinion, then you have to do it, but it feels fully justified that the Jehovah's Witnesses should not receive funds from the authorities then.
Tilia, who grew up in the Jehovah's Witnesses, left because she felt she had never been allowed to think for herself, and she wishes her niece to know about her when she grows up.
Of course, I hope to see my niece again. I hope she chooses a life that makes her feel good, and I can't even dream of seeing her again, but of course I can always hope for such a thing.
It's interesting how Jehovah's Witnesses or the governing body don't see that excluding disfellowshipping and shunning a person is not breaking the human rights of this person. It's interesting to see how the Jehovah's Witnesses and the governing body sees that not receiving the governmental grants it's a violation of human rights. It's so interesting how they manage to link government money and human rights discrimination. That is unbelievable, but interesting. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching, and let's have a look what we can find for the next time.